Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is Friday, March 13th. First, thank you very much for all of your well wishes. I'm just not feeling spectacular, but very, very grateful, not only for your kind wishes and thoughts, but also for the fact that I can continue to reach out to you thanks to technology. So, woohoo, let's hear it for technology. Okay, so I'm going to start this reading off by bragging just a wee little bit and sort of flashing my Canadian pride. So, according to CTV News, which is here in Canada, I am reading this from the news feed. So, a group of Canadian scientists has successfully isolated and grown copies of the novella coronis responsible for COVID-19 epidemic, paving the way for a potential vaccine. They were able to research. Researchers said that it will help to develop treatment, vaccines, and tests for the virus and allow them to conduct long-term research to understand the biology of the disease. Unless I got it wrong, the scientists came together. It was Sunnybrook Hospital in Toronto, University of Toronto Hospital, and the McMaster Hospital out of Hamilton, Ontario. So this is kind of, just saying what happens when you have a government that reacts to a crisis and throws money behind it quickly and keeps the politics sort of out of it. As I'm sure all of you have probably heard by now, Sophie, who is Justin Trudeau's wife, has been tested positive. So our Prime Minister is in self-isolation. I don't wish ill on anybody, but in some ways, it's kind of a good thing, right? Because it gets the message out there that, listen, anybody, anywhere can contract this thing. This is not about, party or where you live or how much money you have. This is in the air we breathe at this point. And so we wish her certainly a speedy recovery. And we, of course, send all of our good thoughts not only to the Trudeau family, but to Justin in particular as he continues to guide and govern this country through this crisis, albeit from isolation. Okay, so I want to take a look at kind of what's going on right now. But I also, as I was meditating this morning, received a very clear message that Spirit has some actually good news or words of wisdom that they want to share with you. So I'm going to start on the card reading, the intuitive reading first, and then I will check in to see exactly what Spirit wants to pass along. So for those of you wondering, tea, honey, lemon, and something special to make it all go down. I'm Ukrainian. I have quite a high tolerance for alcohol. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. So let's just take a look at what is going on. It was very nice to see Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders out there speaking yesterday, sounding presidential and professional and calm, talking science and strategies and plans. The Dr. Fusha, I think, if I've got his name wrong, I apologize, is out there kind of starting to become the face of this situation. So that's a good thing because at least the scientific information is getting out. You have, a guy in the head office who is in denial, and to boot is not very smart. So that's a problem. I heard this morning that apparently William Barr, Kellyanne Conway, and Ivanka Trump were in a meeting with somebody who has just tested positive for the coronavirus. And so that's very sad, and we hope that they're all going to be healthy. But you know what? I got to ask a question. What the hell does Ivanka Trump need to talk to William Barr about? What's the story there? I mean, considering, is it not like, did it not used to be when reality was real that the White House really did keep their distance from the Attorney General because he was supposed to sort of be independent? And we all know he's not, but wow, like, who else is meeting with this guy that we don't know about? All right, let's take a look. And I'm just going to I just want to see what's going on globally, what's going on within the country, your country, and what we can anticipate for right now. Stock market, as of right now, has had a small rebound after an absolutely horrendous day yesterday. If I had enough money to put them in stocks, I guess I would be concerned. I don't. So I look at the stock market sort of more as just a reflection of the panic and the uncertainty of the world. And every stock market is taking a hit. The Canadian one is, Japanese one is, everyone, okay? You're not alone. It's not isolated. Come on down. Let's see what we can find out. Okay, one more quick shuffle. Okay, so here we go. General virus information. General virus information. General virus information. Okay, my crystals out. Okay, so one of the first things that you should be aware of, and this is not specific to your country exclusively if you are in the United States. There are a lot of very difficult decisions being made behind the scenes, out in public. You know, for any kind of democratic country, you've got negotiations between two sides of a government, whether that is Republicans and Democrats, or that's liberals and conservatives, or I don't know what the ones are in Australia and the United Kingdom, but you get my point, right? It's two sides that are trying to come together to make something workable happen that is for the benefit of all. You have a lot of worry behind the scenes, and based on the fact that you have the Nine of Swords here and the Five of Pentacles here and the Magician here, in this case, I'm reading the Magician in sort of its more sinister meaning, if you will. This is talking about manipulation and tricks and half-truths. And in some cases, it is not even on purpose. In some cases, they don't know the truth. And whoever they is, right? Government officials, medical officials, they don't have the tools at their disposal to make this work. I was watching somebody on Morning Joe on MSNBC this morning, and this guy was going on and on about how, you know, without testing, no, it was like testing will give us more information, and you should be tested if you don't know whether you've been exposed. I remember now, this was his actual statement. It was very close to, you do not need to go into self-isolation unless you know you have been exposed to somebody who has tested positive for the virus. Okay, that sounds like a pretty reasonable statement. I swear to you, the next statement out of his mouth was, there's nowhere near the amount of testing needed to actually figure out who does and doesn't have it. Well, so why are you making the criteria for self-isolation that somebody has to be confirmed? Like, on the one hand, you're trying to calm fear, but on the other hand, if you think logically about the statement that was just made, it doesn't make any sense. So that's what's going on, and it's going on kind of everywhere to varying degrees. And there is a lot of stress and a lot of worry because honestly, there are things that the public does not know. Uh, that is happening, that is going on behind the scenes, really in terms of how serious or widespread this could be. It's important to remember that lots and lots and lots of people that contract this thing recover and they're fine, but the death toll is certainly much higher than, for example, the flu. So, you know, understand that that's sort of where we are, and we're in that place kind of globally to varying degrees. And then you have, and along comes the Fool. For anybody who is new to this channel, the Fool is one of the cards that consistently in my readings represent your commander-in-chief. So again, his entire focus, everything he says, does, how he reacts, is about money. It's about the stock market. It's about his wealth, his reputation, his standing. And understand that, in the last little bit, I would think that a lot of his, there's been a lot of loss for people who are heavily invested in the stock market. So one wonders how that's actually impacting him. Of course, he's very busy trying to get through tax cuts for the hospitality industry, like hotels and such, because they really are going to be hurt by, this health crisis. Yeah, okay. So low-income families, people who are living on really fixed incomes, people in, less affluent areas. Yeah, that's not the concern. Let's all focus on hotels because, wow, they're going to be in for a really rough ride. So that's where his focus is, and that's what he's about. And he misspeaks, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he just says stuff. And then on top of that, it appears he can't even read right. Okay, and that's not really a surprise. For anybody who actually was able to watch that Oval Office address from a couple of days ago, he was definitely in an altered state. Okay. So one of the things that I think collectively we are maybe not understanding the way we should understand it is that, they keep talking about, well, if you've been exposed, go into isolation, you're going to be okay in 14 days. That's what they keep saying. But that doesn't mean in 14 days everybody's free and clear to run around, because new cases are coming up all the time. More testing is being done all the time. So this is not something that is going to last for 2 or 3 weeks and then just kind of go away. This is going to take longer. Not only is it going to take longer for you to actually start seeing any sort of a significant decline as opposed to the increases that we are currently witnessing, again, particularly in North America, because, over there, right, on the other side of the ocean, they have been dealing with this. China, it started in December. Well, we're mid-March, and it's just sort of getting to our shores in any significant way. So while there was lots of time to prepare for this, and unfortunately not a lot of preparation done, what we need to understand is that this is not going to be over in a week or 2 or 3. This thing has some longevity to it, and despite the amazing work that Canadian researchers are doing, it's also not going to be a slam dunk to sort of eradicate this. So continue going to the highest, and most honest sources of information. Again, the World Health Organization, the CDC is finally sort of getting its act together and are crawling out from under the thump trum and the cone of silence. And they're really starting to be quite verbal about what exactly it is going on. And local, state, city, town governments, from what I can figure, are doing a fabulous, fabulous job of stepping in and protecting and trying to keep things calm and, get the stuff supplied that needs to be supplied. Yeah, this is sort of the thing, right? There's a certain segment of the Republican government who, hold on, who are just sort of in denial, they just don't want to admit it. They don't want to face facts. They don't want to get tested. They have to be, their arms have to be twisted to get them to cancel a recess. But, let's still take a 3-day weekend because, we work very hard here in the Senate. There's like a lot of that kind of crazy going on. And as sad as it is, that's going to cause problems, serious problems, significant problems. But ultimately, they're going to absolutely be held accountable, not for the crisis, not for the problem itself at its root, but for the management, or should I say lack of management. This is a government that is not only chicken, but it is a government that is headless. There is no coherent leadership, not only from the White House, but also from his party. You listen to what fools will actually get on television, and I haven't seen very many, and there's a lot of hope and wish, and I would think, well, those aren't facts, because they don't have them or they don't want to talk about them. So continue to get your information from reliable sources. Continue to do what you need to do to keep yourself safe. But do understand, on some level, this is not something that's just going to up and vanish in a couple of weeks, okay? They're in for a bit of a long haul here. And so in some ways, you sort of have to plan about that and think about that carefully. Now, something that you really can take some comfort in, aside from the fact that you have a president who is completely incapable of handling and talking to the Speaker of the House because he doesn't like her, because, she hurt his feelings and she made him feel bad and she tore up that speech. And so I don't like her and I'm not going to talk to her. Oh, I'm president and I'm supposed to. I don't want to. Steve Mnuchin, go deal with her. And in some ways, we should all kiss the floor and thank God, because at least, and I do not hold Mnuchin in any sort of high esteem, but at least it sounds as if they were able to move this forward. As I said in a previous reading, understand, Pelosi is working her fingers to the bone to get this thing done, to push it forward. And again, let us be grateful for the fact that she is in the fight with completely ill-equipped people, okay? I would bet on Nancy Pelosi, half asleep, than coming out ahead of a Stephen Mnuchin, because he has a one-track mind. So she's going to be able to outmaneuver him and outfox him every which way from Sunday, exactly like she does to Trump, exactly like she is capable of doing to the people who don't have government experience, but are in positions of some sort of authority. So she's working hard, and there's lots of other people behind the scenes who are working very hard to try to get the information out, try to get bills passed, try to get stuff moving. And again, any continued delays from the Senate is going to ultimately destroy the Senate, and that is not comforting in the short term, but over time you're going to see how their actions now are impacting them in a significant and serious way going forward. Okay, let's see what Spirit wants to tell us. And I'm not going to use cards for this. I'm just going to go straight into channel messaging. So, Spirit, what is it that the people of America, and indeed the people of the world, of all the places that are dealing with this health epidemic, pandemic, what is it that we need to know, prepare for, and understand? Okay, so first of all, from a really sort of high, 30 feet above the ground view, many of you are aware that there has been a lot of talk about the vibrations of the planet increasing, the energy vibrating higher and higher and faster and faster. And one of the problems has been that it has been kind of hard to lift that energy up in any real sustained or significant way, because there is a lot of, I call, dinosaur energy on the planet, right? It is energy that is old, that is stale, that is entrenched in a way of thinking that is sort of like not helpful. And of course, this does not apply to every person over 45 or 65 or 75, but those entrenched attitudes. Part of what is happening literally is that they are, those attitudes are being diminished. Those attitudes are being either removed from the planet or altered. And so that energetic vibration can lift. So from a really overall bird's view, this is kind of like a necessary medicine, if you will, for the evolution of not only the people of the planet, but in fact, for the health of the planet itself. There's that. Secondly, it gives countries an opportunity to really evaluate how their governments work, and whether or not the people that they have in positions of power are really doing the best job they can for the actual people that elected them. So that's going on. It is an opportunity for us to evaluate kind of what is going on within our own governments in our own countries. And interestingly enough, this does provide the opportunity for that global village that we all live in to really come together and to share information, to once again really recognize and remember that we are one. All of us, we're one. You can't try to separate us, because when you look at the earth, from the sky, from the heavens, from the universe. There are not borders. There are not borders. Okay? Which means that this is giving us an opportunity to actually understand that the borders are man-made, and that while they are important and they have significance and yak, 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 they also create that us against them attitude. My country against your country, my culture against your culture, my religion against your religion. And what this does is it gives us the opportunity to start to really, really recognize in a really, really real way that we are all one. So, as a final message or thought, the universe would like you to know and understand that this is not going to wipe out the population. The vast majority of people who get sick are going to recover. Ultimately and eventually, countries will recover, stock markets will recover, the world will go back to a new normal, because from this comes new understanding, a new awareness, and one hopes new tolerance and appreciation. So keep your thoughts positive, keep yourself safe, do the things that need to be done to protect yourselves and your family, and know that in this challenging time, you are not alone. You are not alone. Your family is not alone. Your city and town and state and country is not alone. There is a tremendous amount of angelic and energetic support working incredibly hard to help move people's understandings and attitudes and responses. And there is a great deal of healing work being done energetically so that those who are involved in the healing work here on the planet are guided and assisted. So take comfort from that. All is not lost, but this is definitely an opportunity for all of us to gain some further insight and understanding. Okay, a couple of quick things. I am going to be doing the healing circle, the positive energy healing circle this Sunday. Is again going to be about this crisis of health that the planet is in. And so we're going to be joining together to, again, send out healing energy and supportive energy, not only to the planet, but of course to the governments, the people, the frontline workers, first responders, doctors, etc. So if you wish to join us for that, please look for that on Sunday. It gets released on both this channel and the Insights channel. I also have reading dates available still in March, towards the end of March. And so if any of you are interested in that little box below this video, you will get some information on that. And, until next time, be kind to yourselves, and be kind to each other. Take care. Be well. And we'll see you really soon. Bye.